Hi everyone, this is Killshot 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9. This is our love and hate, and it is going to be a weird combination today. I know some of you, you're going to be very passionate about this one. We've got Magna versus Rosita. We're going to talk about the characters, the storylines. We got a lot of stuff to get into. First of all, happy Walking Dead Day to everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful morning, and we're just going to ramp it up. We've got a lot of super chats going right from the start. Looks like Scott jumped in really early. He's not going to be able to make it. Did ask everybody to hit the like button, so that would be awesome. And also wants to ask major change in the future. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I will get to that for people watching the playback. Also, we've got Wilson. Wilson says, hi, 999, enjoying your Sunday, and Puddin'. All right, I see a theme here with Puddin'. So we got Valar as well. Valar says, hello, 999 Army. Kills, Steph, Emmy, Kel, Sweet Tommy sponsors, patron super chatters, and have a happy Sunday. And a follow-up question from our moderator, Steph, the Cuervo Queen. There's got to be a joke somewhere I'm missing here, so hopefully someone will let me in on it. But Kills, do you like chocolate or vanilla pudding, or maybe butterscotch or tapioca? I only like one of those three flavors, and it is vanilla. I do love me some vanilla pudding. And used to like those little Nilla wafers, too. But, yeah. We got Rashonda Harrington says, happy Walking Dead Day. Thank you so much, Rashonda. Appreciate that. So much love in here today. And look, we've only got 2 episodes left. So don't worry. I know this week is a holiday. We got Thanksgiving coming up. We're still going to be streaming during the week, and also a lot of streams next week. But just because we go on a little bit of a break does not mean we're not going to be talking about The Walking Dead. Does not mean there's not going to be stories. Doesn't mean there's not going to be predictions and stuff. We're going to get into the whispers like full speed ahead. Rusty Lion says, yo, Kills. Check out my latest tribute, my best one. I will. Send it over to me, Rusty. Last one was really good. So I'm going to get to Scott's future of the show, because I do think that ties into what we're talking about today, the future of the show. So let me start by saying I want to apologize to all the Rosita fans for what I'm about to do. And you guys know I have been a long-time supporter of Rosita, one of my favorite characters. But I don't like what's going on. I don't like the weaker character, the confused character, the one that is kind of going behind Michonne's back a little bit, the one that is in love with Father G, the one that is creating a love triangle. She's not going to last, and it's not because of the comics. I don't think it's because we know what happens with Rosita in the comics. We know that she only has a little bit of story left. So if we wanted to go strictly by the comics, we could say there's not a lot left. Couple episodes at the most before we get to that part. Pete D, you know what? I gotta address this one. Hold on, we're gonna hit the pause button. I am not a thumbnail stalker, but did Pete D just turn to the Grinch? I love it. So first of all, thank you so much, Pete D, for the super chat, and I absolutely love the new profile picture. You know how to make an intro. So that definitely gets you in the holiday spirit. Let me jump into this with Rosita. To me, the character has been weakened. And let me ask, when is the last time you guys saw Rosita where you felt like she was Rosita? You know what I mean? Like that toughness, that kind of walking by Spencer, saying she used him, shooting bullets at Negan. When's the last time we saw her character like that? Let's go back down memory lane a little bit and see if you can remember the last time you felt like she was just kind of in epic mode. Even the little skirmish at the camp, that was kind of weak. It was kind of like a shoving match, right? And Rosita she got somebody in a headlock, but that was about it. Before Sasha died, since Abe, it's been a while. How many people feel like Magna might be more Rosita than Rosita? And I know Magna is still Magna. I know she's got a comic arc. But doesn't she seem like the one that will step in and sort of, when Rosita sort of starts to fade away a little bit? I feel like that kind of rebellious toughness, a little bit a little rude and crude in the beginning. So that's why I picked these two for the love versus hate. I've always liked Rosita's character, but I'm starting to not like the exit strategy, the storyline. So a few things that I want to point out that are a little bit different. One, Rosita apparently is, she needed someone. I would have thought Daryl or maybe even a Dwight or Father G just was not, hey, look, I know love is blind and Father G is partially blind, but I think that it's still a weird character for her. You know, kind of like, sure, I'll do it, and, you know, just giving him a kiss and walking away. That didn't feel like Rosita to me. If she would have, you know, given him a kiss, put him in a headlock and said, you know, I'm out of here, you know, that would have felt a little bit more like her character. So 6 years has definitely changed her a little bit. And I'm just not, it feels like a different character to me. It happens. Look, she has a right to be happy. I get it. But what I'm saying is that, do you see her lasting knowing it's kind of killing Eugene? And I do think that Rosita's gone and Eugene will stay. Let me know your thoughts to that. I think they kill Rosita and they keep Eugene. Eugene, I feel like, is the future. And I think a lot of people are really worried about him right now. We got Jimmy's Jam and says, I agree. Kills, if Rosita has to go, I want to see her go out tough. I do too. So Father G has this whole radio system, and they know Michonne doesn't like it. And Rosita just walks in. It's like, hey, you're messing with the radio again. How can I help? You know, Michonne's not going to like it if we look for some new people, but hey, I love you. I'll do it. I'll go behind Michonne's back. I'll help you with your quest to find more people. It's like she's just latched on to Father G's dream in the process. It just doesn't feel like Rosita to me. Oh, you stay here. I got it. I'll take the guy that likes to watch. I'll take Eugene and just rub his nose in it a little bit more, then I'm happy with somebody else. I'll get him to help me. And you know what else? I'll just leave him in a barn. Come on. You don't leave Eugene in a barn. She could have stayed in that barn. What, is she running back to get with Father G? Because Eugene is slow and he's holed up in a barn? I guess she had to go get help. You could kind of play it out that way, but it does seem a little selfish. One person safer in a barn than two? She left Eugene. She left him in a barn. She doesn't even know which barn he's in. She's got a flare. Just shoot the flare and then go in the barn. Look, she's not getting help. She's going crazy. She's hearing the voices. I don't like it. I feel like it's phasing out the character. Now she's hearing the voices. And I'd like to see how the injury occurred. I agree with. Angie Kindley says she's freaking out because of the voices. Now she thinks she is losing her mind. Julia, it's never too soon to make Rosita predictions. That's what we do. We do early predictions. It's part of our job. I know. It's like you got to see the human side of some of the characters. Oh, my God. You guys are some hardcore characters. If you even slightly disagree with your beloved Rosita, it's like, oh, my God, blah, blah, blah. Come on. Rosita is not an angel. Now, actually, I will say the last time I thought Rosita put her foot down and seemed like Rosita was when she went back and said Rick would not want to do this. That would be, and that was what? Was that 15 last season? Daryl and the group, they wanted to run the garbage truck through the sanctuary. Rosita actually took a stand. My question is, why is she doing this radio thing? I mean, they're out there. They're probably going to be the ones, because she's going against Michonne's protective nature and trying to expand, she might be the one attracting the Whisperers back to Alexandria. We got a super chat. Let me get to Age. Age says, I feel like Father G can't die until he tells the group about the helicopter, right? It's a good point. It feels like an unfinished story. It doesn't look good for Eugene. It has to be one of them that dies. Also, hi. Hi to you too. I'm getting the bass fired up this morning, Age. So, the hardcore Rosita fans. So they're out there broadcasting from the top of a water tower. Eugene doesn't say no. So if Michonne doesn't want to do this, and it has been pointed out Michonne does not want to do this, why did Eugene go along with it? Or better yet, why did she ask Eugene to go along with it? What? Wait, hold on. Uncle Creepy says he's a yes man. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, Newfield 12. So she manipulated Eugene because she knew that Eugene had feelings for her, and he was going to say yes to anything she asked him to do, even if it puts the community at risk, which is in direct violation to what Michonne wants to happen right now. Where's the council? Look, they have a council to decide what to do with Magna. Why is there not a council to decide whether or not they want to broadcast on the radio? Why is that Father G's call? Why is that Rosita's call? Why are they recruiting Eugene to do it behind Michonne's back? If these whispers get led to the group, which they very well might, if Jesus dies because of it, if someone gets kidnapped because of it, we can probably pinpoint it to some of this behind-the-scenes activity that's going on. So let's transition a little bit. Is this broadcasting? You're right, Deborah. I agree with that. Is this radio, is this broadcasting without alerting the community, is it the right thing to do? Is it the right thing to do without involving Michonne? So let me kind of backtrack a little bit. See, I don't hate Rosita. What I'm saying is I hate the decision-making process. I hate that Father G has a plan. I hate that Rosita and this relationship has sort of allowed her just to go along with his plan. And I hate the fact that she's using Eugene's emotions to get him to go along with the plan. And I hate that this plan might actually get some people killed. When Michonne might have said, no, let's do this a little bit differently. Let's think about it. Let's vote on it. And then maybe I'd feel a little bit more, I'd feel better about it. And I'm on the fence about Rosita leaving Eugene. I get why it has to happen. I know she's got to leave to get help. I know it keeps the story going. I just don't know if a past Rosita would have done it that way. So I'm not sure I like the writing for that. I mean, maybe in the past, it would have been one of those situations where they're both in a cabin and, shoot the flare. Maybe shoot the flare at something. At a walker. Catch him on fire. And then let all the walkers be attracted to the fire and then kind of sneak away with Eugene. That's what I would have done. Shoot the flare at the cabin. Catch the cabin on fire. And then kind of run away. Nerd Life says Eugene would have slowed her down. Well, they're walkers. They're not runners. I mean, here's the secret. You can always move faster than a walker as long as you don't get yourself surrounded. You always got to have like a way out. Remember, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Magna's group was completely surrounded. Judy shot a few and gave them a little exit, and they were able to slide out. They're all good. Deborah Mooney, that's what I'm going at. So, all right, to the group of fans I got riled up a little bit ago, that think I'm hating on Rosita, would you all agree that Rosita has weakened up this season? Can we get an agreement on that? Or are you going to shoot me down on that one too? It's okay. See, that's what I'm not liking. I'm trying to bargain. I'm trying to negotiate with you guys. You want to play hardcore, that's fine. Play hardcore. I'm loosening up my stance a little bit here. Because as a longtime fan of Rosita, this is not an easy broadcast. I do the tough stuff. I do the things that other people are afraid to do, and that is call out one of my favorite characters. Because while there's other people out there making it strictly cosmetic and slobbering all over Rosita because of her attractiveness, I've always been attracted to the personality of the character. And I don't like it. I don't like the last season and a half, I guess. Not saying it's too late for her to resurrect. I'm not saying it's too late for her to get that mojo back. I'm just not seeing it right now. And the road trip with Eugene did bother me a little bit. It did bother me that she went to him. I mean, yes, he's probably the only person smart enough to do it. But I still would have liked, I don't know, I just don't like this whole plot. I think we're going to look back on this whole radio thing. Well, let me put it this way. If this radio thing is what attracts the whisperers, and that's the end of it, I'm going to have a problem with it. if this radio thing works to find Rick or works to find the Commonwealth or works to find some help, then we'll tone it down. And, I won't give you as much of the rhetoric. I'll say, you know what? Okay, I understand it's necessary to get in touch with people. But if this turns out to be a disaster, I'm not going to like it. Now, on the flip side, I'm liking Magna. I'm liking Magna's toughness. I'm liking the fact that she doesn't feel like she's just got to answer to stuff, that she is her own person. I like the fact that she also has a little bit of that. She's down to earth. She's getting ready to break in, maybe take care of Michonne herself, and she realizes, hold on. I can't take over this place. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but it's also about survival. And people have done things. But it did appear as if Magna was going to go have a standoff with Michonne and put her foot down and say, I'm taking this place because we need to survive. But then she backed off. That's not a popular opinion either. you guys are calling her Magna Daryl's dirty sister? Yeah. I think there's a fan club for Daryl. I think there'll be a fan club for Magna really quickly. All right, so let me throw this out there to the Army. I'm going to ask you to vote at this point right now. Okay? Not 3 seasons ago, 2 seasons ago. If you need someone to fight side by side with you at this moment right now in the show, and you have a choice between Magna and Rosita, who are you taking? All right, let's see what the crowd says. You going to take love triangle, hearing voices, disillusioned Rosita? Or are you going to take Magna, who can hide knives in her belt and get away with it? Mike's like, I'm taking Carol. Carol is not an option. Okay, and that's question number 1. Now, let's just say there was a standoff, and it was a hand-to-hand battle between Magna, tough Magna, or doughy eyes, I'm head over heels in love, Rosita. The two of them are standing off right now. Not who you'd pick. Who's going to win a battle between the two of them? If it's a fight to the finish. There was a time I would have said Rosita. I can't say it anymore. I don't think Rosita can take her down. I really don't. And I think they're going to write that character. Emma says they're both good. That's a good point, Steph. Well, they're not fighting for Father G. Tammy Sifford said Rosita's kind of mushy right now. Mushies and smushies. Mitch says Rosita lost her mojo. Deborah Mooney, Rosita's too weak right now. Deidre Perkins says back against the wall. Rosita will come through. Okay, fair enough. Angie Kinley says, I believe Magna has her head in the game where Rosita doesn't so much. I think that's a good point. Angie Oman says, not today, not tomorrow, but someday Rosita can take her. I don't know that Rosita's going to get the opportunity. I really think... I think we know from the past that mushy smushy can get you killed off the show. And maybe that was part of the writing. Maybe it was, hey, let's let Rosita be happy a little bit, show how she's changed, and then it might all go down. Jimmy's jamming, but kills. It's really the writers that are doing this. Why are they dissing Rosita like this? And Jimmy, that's a great point. I mean, keep in mind, everything that we discussed is it's always based on the writing. Longtime viewers, you guys know that I've always said the writers have a power over us, and they can kind of manipulate a little bit, which is the fun of the show. Because we do gravitate. You know, we go from hating Dwight to loving Dwight. We go from hating Negan to accepting Negan. We go from Daryl being kind of in the shadows to Daryl being at the forefront. We went from Carol being miserable to badass to exiled to back to self-exiled to in love to whatever's next. Look, let me draw the comparison. Carol just let someone take her ring and steal from her because of her love for Henry and because of her relationship with Ezekiel. But Carol turned it back on in a hurry. Boom. Not saying Rosita can't, but Rosita needs to. In my opinion, Rosita needs to. Because if she can't ramp it up, if she can't get it back, it's a recipe for disaster. So, follow-up question for the Army. Does Rosita get her comic death? Will the Whisperers kill Rosita? Yes or no? It's funny, you know, when I ask these questions like this, especially, a lot of the same people say Tara needs to die. And you ask them why. It's like, because her arc is up. And we pick and choose characters that we gravitate toward. So why would Rosita not get her comic arc, but other people, it's rationalized that they should be dead? Once again, I'm a longtime fan of Rosita, but the comic book fans are going to say, yes, she needs to go, Ezekiel needs to go, and they need to keep it as a comic purist that they want it that way. But then other people are going to say no. So, what makes Rosita any more valuable at this point in the story than Abraham was in All Out War? Abraham could have been valuable. Abraham could have helped him. Just like you can say, well, Rosita could help him. But it seems more likely than not that Rosita will get an exit this season. And they are ramping up Tara's arc. I mean, you can make the argument for anyone's arc to stay. Morgan is dead, but he didn't die because he's in another state. Daryl never existed. Carol is dead. Carol's dead in a prison. So they changed Carol's arc. Tara, people have been, wishing the worst things on Tara for a long time, and now it looks like they're giving her a little bit more. And what I see is they're scaling Rosita down a little bit to give her a weaker story, getting her a little face time here at the end. And Buffy Batcave, I'm not disagreeing with you. There's a lot of people that would prefer Rosita to Tara's character. But that's not the way it goes. And what we've learned, if nothing else, Rosita has changed. She didn't get a lot of airtime. Now she's in love. And now she's being rebellious. And now she's getting airtime all of a sudden. If that's not a recipe for an exit on the show, I don't know what is. And she's dead in the comics, so they'd have to give her a different arc for the Whisperer War. I certainly would say, Leanne that they're preparing her for an exit. I mean, right, Emmy? It certainly feels that way. And this is kind of where it ties into my bigger picture. I hate the current character development. But on the flip side, I love Magna's character development because, look, she's badass and she's deceitful and she lies a little bit, but she's protective. She just lost somebody. She's got hidden weapons. She probably is really awesome hand-to-hand battle, where Rosita can shoot. So I'm liking what they're doing with Magna. I'm not necessarily liking what they're doing with Rosita. And someone made a good point just a little bit ago. Rosita could redeem herself, but the question is, will she get the chance to redeem herself? The writers could certainly write it that way, but I'm not sure they will. I'm not sure she's going to get that opportunity. I'm not sure where she's going, what her next story is, if she's going to feel like she needs to go back out, she's going to feel guilty. We're going to find a lot of really good answers to those questions this week. Because with it getting dark, with Jesus and Aaron trying to rescue Rosita, where they end up, they take her back to Alexandria, do they take her to Hilltop, does she even get out, or does she kind of make it back, heal up a little bit, and feel guilty that she needs to go back out and find him? So, last question for the Army before we wind this down, because this is our love-hate segment. I got you guys fired up, ready for The Walking Dead today. Two-part question. Does Rosita make it back? And does she go back out to try to find Eugene as a shot of redemption because she feels guilty about what happened? And could she get captured when she goes back out? Or, if you see it going a different way, give me a bold prediction right now of what you think will happen with Rosita in the upcoming episodes. And if you do think she'll make it and survive her comic arc, where does she go from here? Rob Smith Krause says, will we actually get to Hilltop this episode? Apparently so. Apparently, Jesus, Aaron, Daryl meet up at Hilltop, which would make sense that they take Rosita to Hilltop for Dr. Enid to work on her. But then I'm just wondering, she's getting all this airtime and she's just going to kind of disappear in the background. I would feel like it would be a good story for me to see Rosita. I got to go find him. I got to go back out. Eugene's out there and not tell anybody. You know, maybe she's weak. Remember when she was weak with Michonne and they just had to go, right? I feel like that would bring me just a shot of redemption. That would get me a little bit of, yes, Rosita's beaten and bruised, but yet she's going back out there. And then, you know, maybe something happens. Maybe she gets kidnapped. That's the way I would write it. All right, everybody, we hit 33 minutes. So if you guys know, these love and hate conversations are a little bit shorter. Just like the title says, sometimes you guys are going to love the ideas. Sometimes you guys are going to hate them. But either way, do me a big favor. Pike the like button. This is one of the few channels where you will get the Devil's Advocate. You will get other theories, predictions, another viewpoint. We love the show. We're never going to bash the show. But I think part of the deep dive and the dead discussion is really to think about angles that other people might not approach. We have a countdown at 8 o'clock. I promise you it'll be a lot more positive tonight. So we'll talk a little bit about the show, do our countdown while everybody's doing some cooking, listening, they're hanging out the job, they're on their lunch break, whatever the case may be. And of course, at 10:15 tonight, we will do our live reaction video. It's our fan reaction video right after the show. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. And I will see every one of you tonight at 8 o'clock. Peace.